Hello, my name is Amit Goffer, and I would like to welcome you for the Sleeping for Tomorrow project. In these challenging and unique times, we find ourselves in significant changes and challenges, affecting so many people all over the world. We are questioning the value, the convention, and the norms of communication that are changing day by day. Through art, we can reflect on the existence of ourselves, our time and place in the world. We can share significant moments with others. This part of the project will consist of different interviews and communication and talks with different people from all over the world. In the last year, a lot of things changed. Change about communication, about physicality of the body, of the mind, and of the soul. How we communicating with each other, how we communicate ideas and thoughts. Today, I'm very happy and honored to have the opportunity to talk with the head of the collection and the curator of Cornelian Munster Aachen, Dr. Marcel Schumacher. In 2012, he was curator at the Volkswagen Museum. Before that, he was working as a freelance curator, author, and a lecturer. His main topics are contemporary art, out of the 1960s, interface between art and architecture, media art, artistry, and transculturally. The physical part of Sleeping for Tomorrow object sculpture is being shown now in the sculpture garden of the Cornelian Munster Kunsthaus Aachen. In this talk, we're going to reflect about significant moments of the changes happening in the last year, what's going to be coming in the next years. I would like to invite you to be part of this journey, to hear, to reflect, to have your thoughts and ideas in this program, and to share your thoughts. Thank you for joining us today for the first session of the Sleeping for Tomorrow virtual part. This is the first discussion. So thank you very much, Marcel, for joining us today for this part of the Sleeping for Tomorrow project. Very glad that you are here. I would like to ask you as the first question for this series of questions, maybe you can tell us about your specific approach in the collection. You came there on 2015. If you can collaborate and explain.
Yes, I think it was a great chance to find a space where a lot is possible. When I was arriving at this collection, at this house, at this space in Aachen Cornelian Münster, there was a long history, but a long history with a lot of open ends, of a lot of stories which could be told with this space and with this collection. Because the collection is about artists in North Rhine-Westphalia, and this region has a long story of modern and contemporary art. And especially in the contemporary time, it's a very interesting spot. And I was working before for the Volkswagen Museum, which has a very international approach. And what I was a little bit missing was there the possibility to work really with artists which are directly coming from the art academy. And there was seeing that in Cornelian Münster with the Kunsthaus, with this program, there's really the chance to discover the new developments in art, the new evolutions, the new projects with young artists, and to see what will happen in the future, not only what was happening in the past. And then I started working with this collection, this was my approach. So when I was starting to work with the collection, I found out that also the history of art in this collection is so strong and also so interesting because it's a collection not only about the very, very famous names, which everyone knows. There are also a lot of very interesting experimental artists in this collection from the 70s, for an example, working with experimental with photography, and which are very interesting also to discover and to start to discuss. I found a lot of spaces which could be used in future time for an exhibition. And one of these spaces is the garden of this building. This is an interesting point to make an exhibition not only in the secure space of a museum. It's also a museum garden, so it's also a closed spot, also like an exhibition space. But it's outside and it's in an area where everyone can come and discover. And also I find out that we have now a lot of new visitors who perhaps were a little bit afraid to go to a museum of modern and contemporary art. But in the garden, it was possible to get inside this space of art. And they found out it's very interesting to discover contemporary and modern art and to start discussions. So I've talked to our guides who make guided tours during our exhibitions. And she had a lot of discussions, new discussions also about what is art, what can happen, what is social, what are the social aspects of art and discussions. So I think this is really now not only an exhibition space, it's also a space for discussion. And I found therefore your project with the bunker, it was a very good point to show not only classic sculptures in our sculpture garden, also to show that contemporary art is not just a sculpture. It's also perhaps you would say to citate Beuys, also the social group is a kind of sculpture. So everything is coming together with this bunker, because not the bunker is this only sculpture. There are also the people who's getting inside, and only in this moment it is getting the real sculpture when it's activated.
So I was really very interested in your project when we are talking about this bunker and your interest in to make a project with this bunker. You find out the noise. Long term, I was thinking about how we can find new works for our sculpture garden and find an aspect which shows that today artists have another approach to sculpture and the body of sculpture, our bodies, the bodies of the people, is a different theme to just a classic bronze sculpture, which we have also in our collection and you can see also in the garden. So today artists, I think, are working differently about sculpture. It's more also about your body, my body, the body of the others, and how we are working together, or perhaps not working together. And this found a very interesting in your idea, your project about the bunker, because there is suddenly this distance and this isolation. And it's not just an isolation you can see, you really can feel it when you get inside. And this moment, this activation of the artwork and the sculpture, activation of the visitor also, I found very important for this exhibition and for the Kunsthaus.
I wanted to ask you, we're talking about a changing of the body, of the situation, and we are in this year of Corona, and the physicality of people, how we communicate and come together is really changed. And I wanted to know for you, how was this year, especially as the curator of the house, but even personally, if I can ask.
Perhaps to start with a positive aspect, I think there were two in last springtime. And some moments there you can feel the idea with some people that there's a possibility to change something, or also to the aspect of it's really necessary to change something in our society, to really think more about what's health and how is our society working just with money, it's just money, or it's more important to think about our health and the health of other people and to take care about other people, and not only to look how money does it cost when I do something for another person. I think also a lot of people are finding out that's really more important than it was perhaps in the last years. And for me as a curator, it was interesting to find out that we get in touch more in the end, not personally, but we get in touch with colleagues and with others via Zoom or via other video programs digitally, and talking differently, not only on the phone. talking also with video. So everyone can see us and we can found a different kind of talk, just to have the phone, the classic management aspect, have the phone on the ear. And you can talk differently. I found this was an important thing which will stay also in the work of a creator. On the other side, it was frightening to have a completely unsecure aspects, perspective for the future. In the end, no curator really could plan exhibitions. Everyone have planned exhibitions in the end. For one time in the future, we can show this exhibition. I think it was really problematic for a lot of artists who had plans for the next years and who were thinking, I have an exhibition in this month, then I have to change and have another exhibition and I have to organize these. No one was knowing, can we open an exhibition? There were exhibitions who no one was inside, just some visitors, some curators who had a working date to see this exhibition. And I think this was really, for some art, it was really dramatically because they had a lot of work, a lot of thoughts to show, to share with others, and it was not possible to share. And I think this will be in the next months very important for a lot of artists, also for curators, to have this possibility to share the experience of art with others physically, and not only in a talk via a video in the internet or with a phone.
I want to go with you for the virtual situation that we have, because we are talking now virtually by the internet, not physically, so the communication is kind of different. And the virtual part of the work is built of people from all over the world can communicate, put their thoughts and ideas of significant moment that happened to them in the last year in the work, and people inside of the bunker or other places from the world can react to this. And in the work, we're asking people if they want to put photo of a significant place and maybe share and say something about this place. Thank you very much for sharing with us this photo that you sent. And I will ask you to explain what was significant for you, if it was something good or bad, or if you can share with us your thoughts about this photo and why you chose it.
I've chosen a photo about the street where I live, actually, because this was really a strange experience. Everyone started to hear in the TV, in the radio, and in the internet, in the news, that something was happening in China, somewhere on the other side of the globus. And in really a short time, there was something arriving. And it was in our street, really also in March, really in the beginning of this pandemic time, that we get the news that in the family of other neighbors, grandparents had corona. And it was really, unfortunately, they were not really strong. They didn't have a strong illness. They just had a little bit. They were in chance, so they would not get to hospital, and everything was fine in the end. They didn't have really dramatically an illness of corona, of COVID, but it was arriving so fast and directly in the next house. This was really strange. Before, you just was thinking, okay, it's really somewhere in the world and somewhere in Italy, somewhere.
Oh, it's next to you.
Yes, wow. Somewhere in Ischgl, and then it's next door. And this was really frightening. Globalization is going so fast. So just in some weeks, it's arriving here next door. And this was really a new experience, I think. which will be for the future will be an important experience.
About new experience, I wanted to ask you, for your point of view, what will change because of the corona through the arts, through the discussion? How do you see the approach? What do you think is going to come?
On one side, I hope that there will be really a change into politics, perhaps, or perhaps not into politics first time, in the thinking of the people. That they have to be take more care for the others. And we're really a society together, and we have to work together and to look for the future of our children and of the others around the world. And not just to see about your own comfortable situation. This is the hope. I don't know if it really works so well. I think we really have to work on. And I think it's also for curators and for others who are really working in this space, it's important for the future to talk with the people about this, also about the future aspects, and to discuss more perhaps than in the past, really to think about the connection of our art space with the space of the others and how it's connected together.
So if you're talking about the future, maybe you can give us a surprise moment, or what's going to happen the next year in the house. You can tell us a little bit for the future, what's going to happen.
And next year, our program will be about the future and naturally also the contemporary. We will show an exposition about digital art, or art who is dealing with a digital theme, with a digital technique. The name of the exhibition will be Screen Time. So this is one of our experience with Corona, that we have a lot of our context about the screen. And one is before the screen, one is behind the screen. And then we have naturally also this old discussion, where is the screen? Is the screen something, or where is the world behind? And how we can connect, and what is the machine in between the two screens? So this will be the theme for our next big exhibition in next year. And the other exhibition will be connecting the past of this collection. The exhibition will start with the time after the Second World War and the situation, how to build up a society, how to build a democratic society after a crisis. And this is I think it's very important also for the future, how to find together. We're in our sculpture garden, and the museum is open. You're very welcome to come inside and to see our new exhibition, new acquisitions, new paintings from North Rhine-Westphalia. And you're very welcome to stay a lot of time in our house and to discuss with us also about the project of Amit, which I will develop in the next time. We had the experience now in last year. Nature is stronger than us, than the human. And next year, I hope to open a new show in our sculpture garden and this exhibition about the future of screen time.
I have another question about how do you see the communication and connection with other institutes after this part of the last year?
I think it's really very important for every art institute to stay in connection with other institutes, especially in the region of Aachen. We have a network of contemporary artist spaces. The name of this network is Very Contemporary. You can find it also on the internet. And it's a network of contemporary art institutions in the Netherlands, in Belgium, and in Germany. Connect one house to the other with some art projects. this network is very important for every one of us inside this network, because this is really a chance of this region that's here are borders and different art scenes, and they are not connected like it could be, or it would be good for the artists. And therefore we want to engage us for the connection between these countries here. And I think for this project, for Sleeping for Tomorrow, this starting will be just a point to get around and around and to find more people, to get in contact with more and more people, to find an exchange about the thoughts, about the ideas for the future, what was changing in this moment, what will change, and the others did all around the world in the end, because this is the possibility and the chance of the digital communication in the end, that you can talk with someone who is sitting in his office in New York or on the other side of the globus in Sydney.
I agree. I hope it will grow and grow and grow. And with the help of you, and thank you for watching us, we will hope you will share it with your friends and with your colleagues. We would love to hear your thoughts and ideas about this. This is the first interview and talk that we're doing here. So thank you for joining us. And until next time, from me and from Marcel. Thank you.
Bye.